Yeah,
Ask
thanks.
him to call. Here he comes.
John, I thought I was gonna have a new car.
That's all yours.
So, did you get a brand new car, fancy keys?
Same one. I don't drive that lot.
Yeah, can you grab the door, somebody over there? I'll grab this one. All right, legislation committee meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Boyd, Alderman Vaccaro,
President.
Alderman Muhammad,
Here.
There's a-
Alderman Narayan,
Present.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Chairwoman Ingracia,
Present.
Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Boyd.
Present.
Have 6 present, you have quorum.
All right, first up, we will hear from Alderman Vaccaro on Board Bill 12.
Okay, well, mine, we made all the changes. I really probably would need Lou in the room. I don't profess to be an attorney. He worked with the election board, and they sent out back and forth, and they've come up with, pretty much put in what everybody was asking for. And I assume by not seeing, you know, everybody else here, I assume everybody's fine with it, or they would have sent somebody. So the changes are marked, and let me see if I can go find them in case anybody has real technical questions. The intent of this bill.
I'm sorry, did you say do you want me to ask Lou to come in here while you
Yeah,
talk?
he should be here.
Okay, I'll text him.
Okay. And I can tell you the intent of the bill.
Sure.
So the intent of the bill is that to hold whoever's filing somewhat accountable by just simply having them get their to come over here, to go up to the 4th floor, grab a paper that says, at least at the time, my taxes are paid. It got a little more complicated because we put back in the 7-day thing. So Greg Daly's office, then toward the end of the filing period, because even if your taxes are paid at that time, then he would have to notify the Board of Elections that as of right before the, you know, whenever the names go on the ballot, he would have to notify them that all the taxes are still paid. So you would have, candidates that are actually following the rules that are on there would get notice that, yes, all their opponents are up to date. And this was all brought about, well, that stuff that went on during the last election and going back to Tom Villa, because the only way to get your opponent's name off the ballot was you'd have to hire an attorney, you'd have to go to court, you'd have to get a court order to take that name off the ballot. The Board of Elections would not simply take it off, nor, I don't think they can. So this holds the person accountable that, you know, that if I'm gonna run, my taxes need to be paid.
Okay.
Is
Do you
that-
want us to take the committee substitute under consideration?
Yes, well, that's right, I was holding on, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So I would like to make a motion, we put the committee sub in front of us.
Second.
Okay, all right, so now we have Board Bill 12 committee substitute in front of us. You ready for questions? I texted Lou, or do you want me to wait till we find him?
Well, I can try to answer them, but I'll be honest with you, like I said, I'm definitely not an attorney, so.
Yeah.
Here's Lou.
What?
Lou, if I can have you up here.
All right.
So Lou's gonna kind of help me through this, because
Okay.
he's the one who helped put this together.
Okay,
He's the one-
perfect. So it's been moved and seconded that we take up Board Bill 12 committee substitute. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Thanks, Lou.
Alderman Muhammad,
Aye.
Alderman Narayan,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Chairwoman Ingracia.
Aye.
6 aye votes.
All right, Alderman Boyd, do you have any questions?
I'm just trying to follow section 1. Okay, so as I'm reading the bill, page 1 has a section 1. There's some recommended changes, with most of them start on line 7. Then line 16 says section 1. Then you have section 2 on page 2. And then you have on page 7, section 1 deleted.
So,
There's also, yeah,
so can you address some of these questions?
Certainly. Section 1 is deleted, and that's per the board rules requiring that the deletions be shown. So that is the section 1 that is currently in effect under the ordinance.
what page and what line are we on?
Section 1 that is deleted begins on line 9 on page 7. And it goes through page 2, page 10.
Okay, so can we tell everybody who's talking?
Oh, sure, can you introduce yourself,
Yeah,
please?
my name's Lou Galley. I am legal counsel for the board.
Okay, so the question is then, why wouldn't we delete section 1 before we get to section 2? Oh, it's a, wait a minute.
So if you look at,
So section 1, then section 2, then we go back to section 1?
Right, so page 2 of 10, line 4 also has a section 1 listed.
Makes it even more confusing.
do you mind if I explain or may I
Please,
explain?
that'd be great, thanks.
Okay, on page 1, section 1, in the committee substitute and in the bill, all right, it sets out the rule, Board of Aldermen Rule 54. All right, and it says that in section 2 of this bill, which contains the changes, all right, it says that this ordinance notes with brackets, bold type, and strike-throughs, the section of ordinance number 68605, approved and codified, revised, that is repealed by this ordinance. So in accordance with board rules, section 1 is specifying that's what has been done. Then section 2 of the board bill is the section that actually goes on to repeal and replace the section 1 currently in ordinance 68605.
Okay, so the first section 1 and 2 is basically repealing previous ordinance, and then we come up with a new section 1 and section.
Well, the section 1 that's listed under section 2, yes, is the language, the text of the new section 1 that would be replacing the current one.
Okay, I guess in order to really follow this, when you said that you were, I guess, in the first section 1 on line 16, page 1, why didn't all the strikeouts for section 1 come before section 2, before the new section 1 did? I don't know, it's so confusing. It just doesn't flow for some strange reason.
Well, the way I wrote it was to have the changed language, the changed, as you pointed out, the changed text before, to have it go before rather than the text that's being struck out, which is after. I didn't consider, how it might flow for people. I just did it as.
Because normally,
Drafted.
if we were making a change to, let's say, a section 8 in a particular bill, we would have strikeouts. Some of it we may be keeping, so we would not delete or strike out anything we're keeping. Stuff that we would add, we would bold it, and stuff we were taking out, we would strike out within that same section.
Right.
Right?
But the whole section here is being struck and being replaced.
Okay, so, okay. All right. I don't have any further questions.
Okay, I'm gonna have the clerk come in also and take a look at the formatting as well. Do you wanna pop up here? You don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you wanna? Yeah, I guess if you wanna sit up here, you're gonna answer questions, so you're on
Oh,
on
you need to
camera.
answer questions. I thought
Yeah,
you
just
did.
introduce yourself really quickly. So Alderman Boyd had some questions on the formatting of the committee substitute. There was some question about this language here. Thanks. And then,
So the way.
so he pulled a copy of Rule 54, or pulled the rules, and we're looking at Rule 54.
Okay.
Do you want us to touch base about this, or do you have any questions?
Do you want to take a break?
Everything.
Yep, let's break for a minute.
So it's okay if we want to strike that section, we'll just strike it.
Right.
So it makes it
Okay, all right, we'll
simpler.
reconvene legislation.
Okay.
Thanks for letting us
Yes, ma'am.
pull you in here.
So-
You're-
So Jeffrey, if you want to strike section one, we'll
I
just
don't want to do
strike.
anything. I'm gonna vote on it. I just wanted some clarity.
Okay, but, and that's, again, I don't profess to be an attorney, and this was, he had sent it out, I think roughly 2 weeks ago, and then again, a few days ago, and it was sent to Greg Daly's office, it was sent over to the Board of Elections. It was asked if anybody had changes, you know, I really felt like, okay, that, you know, but if it's easier just to strike it, then we can strike section one. I just, but anyway, so if you don't want to, let's just move on, but again, I tried to make sure everybody, you know, that was one thing, and again, Lou wrote this for me, I'm not an attorney.
Okay,
And-
all right, well,
and-
let's just keep going
Yeah.
through with questions, and if anything
Okay.
else pops up, we can make a determination.
Okay,
I have no further questions, Madam Chair.
Okay, Alderman Rhodey,
No questions.
Alderman Mohammed,
Please add me as a co-sponsor on Board Bill
12
12 committee substitute.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Alderman Ryan.
Thank you, Chairwoman Gracia. Just a quick question for Lou, if you don't mind. So my understanding, and I haven't looked deeply into this, I just kind of used my Google skills on it, is that currently the case law standard is that a candidate has until the day of the election to get right with taxes. Is that your understanding as well? or do
The
you-
current case law?
Yeah.
I am not familiar with any case that is giving them up until to get right with taxes. This does that. So
Okay.
they do have until the last day of filing to come correct.
Okay.
All right, but I am not aware of any case law that's you know, been decided on that issue.
Okay. And so this does, in your understanding, have an opportunity for anyone to cure a delinquency once they became aware of?
Yes, up until the last day of filing.
Okay. So if you filed on the first day and you go up to Greg Daly's office and he goes, oh, wait, no, you do have a deficiency, then you just go, oh, okay, and you pay your
Right, and then
pay
right.
your taxes or your different
Yeah,
whatever you may owe the city, and then he will come forward with that letter, and then you can just bring it right back down to the Board of Elections, and you're good to go.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
if I could be wrong, but this also puts one more burden on their office, that at the time of closing, they have to, Greg Daly's office has to notify the election board that everybody's still current, because some elections you file and your election is not for 3 months later. So this even puts one more burden on Greg Daly's office, that they have to send over that, even though you were current when you filed, that you're still current. Huh? Yeah, if you want to talk on it, I mean, that's my understanding, maybe I'm.
All right, so the issue that's addressed here is that the date of filing, all right, the last day of filing may come before the day when taxes become due on the 31st. So at the time filing closes, all right, then you may be up to date on your taxes, all right? However, the new tax year begins, and that's when the election would be. So if you go to section 7, that says that, it says on the day immediately following, so this is one of the checks.
Where are you?
On section 7 on page 4, beginning on line 15. this is after, this is the check after, okay? They cannot place it on. And then number 8, if you go in here at any time upon written receipt of a complaint, and this is after the filing. So that covers the eventuality if somebody is not compliant by the time of the election.
So there is no gotcha here where someone wouldn't know and then all of a sudden would be barred from.
Correct.
Okay. Those are my only questions. Thank you.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard?
No questions, thank you.
All right, I guess with no other questions, I entertain a motion to pass this out of committee.
I'd like this, Michael, I'd like
Madam
to.
Chairman, I move to pass out of committee board bill number 12, committee substitute with due pass recommendation.
I'll second it.
Second.
Oh,
Did you get asked? If you had questions?
Oh, yeah, second, thank you.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Rhodey,
Aye.
Alderman Boyd, Alderman Vaccaro,
aye.
Alderman Muhammad,
Aye.
Alderman Ryan,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Chairwoman Gracia,
Aye.
and 6 aye votes.
Thank you, guys. And if there's, if there is thoughts or changes, we can always now do a floor, I just think that we looked, I know we're beyond discussion, but I think we looked bad in the media and everywhere else when you got, well, I don't want to name any particular, but you got things that just obviously look bad.
All right, thank you.
Madam Chairman, before
Yes.
you dismiss him, I stepped out briefly because I want to ask the clerk a technical question, because again, I was kind of sitting here confused. I know it's already passed, but I want to ask the clerk, on page 4, for example, line 15, is that section 7 or paragraph 7?
I'm sorry, you're on page 4,
Yes,
line,
line 15.
Line 15.
15, so that's, oh, is that a section or?
Where are you?
You don't have the core sub, yeah. Are those sections?
so page 4 on line 15, all right, that continues down with the numbering of the subsections.
Which is what section?
So is it section 7 or paragraph section?
It's a subsection of section 1.
So it's paragraph 7 of section 1.
Right.
Okay, I want to make sure. Thank you. Because that can make a difference.
And then that goes through 9. There are 9 of those subsections, subparagraphs.
All right, we've passed Board Bill 12, committee substitute with the due pass recommendation, and we can take up Board Bill 47.
Ready, Madam Chair?
Yes.
I said, thank you, and members of the committee, I said this is a simple ordinance prohibiting persons, I'll just read the introduction. Persons and entities selling or offering for sale consumer goods or services at retail in the city of St. Louis from refusing to accept cash as a form of payment to purchase goods and services unless otherwise provided in this ordinance. So basically, I'm asking that on the street, retail businesses have to accept cash. They can accept anything else they want, but they have to accept cash also. Now, we did, in section 1, we have the part about they cannot refuse to accept cash as a form of payment. They cannot post signs on the premises, charge a higher price for accepting cash. And then section B would be the exceptions, which we know we would have some. And so far, the purposes of this ordinance at retail is the key here, shall include any and all transactions conducted in person and shall exclude any telephone, mail, or online services. I'm thinking that will take care of pizza orders and things like that. Amazon, whatever you do online, obviously is going to be a credit card. And I know in some cases, pizza delivery people do not like to accept cash after a certain hour. and things like that, so that would be covered. Parking lots and parking garages, we put that in there because sometimes there are some that are, they don't have attendance at all, and you simply have to use a card, whether it's personal or, you know, a credit card or whatever. And then transactions at wholesale clubs that sell consumer goods and services through membership, like Costco or something. If you belong to some private entity, you are accepting their conditions. And if they decide not to accept cash, that's theirs. For transactions in retail consumers exclusively through membership models, similar to the one before. And then we said transactions for the rental of consumer goods and services and accommodations. I am also aware of the fact that when you rent a car, you have to use a credit card as almost as collateral. Same way with you when you use a hotel room or something. So I think we have it covered. My main concern was the man on the street sort of person that is walking into a retail place and they tell him he cannot use cash. It concerns me for the elderly, it concerns me for the unbanked, and it just isn't right, I've decided. And it's come up, and I'm doing this, someone said, oh, you have a solution for a problem that doesn't exist, and that's what I'm hoping for, that we will not have this problem. If we have this in codified now, it won't become a problem. It has in San Francisco, and I believe in Philadelphia. Amazon was called on the carpet, I believe. And so I'm hoping just to preempt that sort of thing. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Rhodey?
No questions.
Alderman Boyd?
No questions.
Alderman Vaccaro?
No, and maybe concerns, but, I mean, I'm fine with it. I just, some businesses choose not to take cash, so they don't get robbed. I mean, I know, like, if you got a little corner business, and even accountability, if you got a lot of employees, credit cards are more accountable, but I guess the concern for a small business is, the reason a business wouldn't accept every form of payment, this is, I'm fine with whatever, but I do know that I've been to businesses that only take credit cards. They don't take a check, but, and it has to do with, you know, like a drugstore, and I think there was one that was really right close to us that was like that. But anyway, I think it was fear of being robbed, you know, if they think you got a lot of cash. But that's just only, you know, yeah, like a bank.
Like a bank, they take cash.
They take cash,
By the way.
and they've been robbed a few dozen
Yeah,
times.
exactly.
No, but I mean.
Exactly.
But, I mean, I would just think,
We can't guarantee
I w-
safety for
I was
all the
one
time.
that was against the smoking ban, although I think I voted with it, but, because I always felt if you own your own business, you should have the right to run your business the best way you see fit. But, I'm fine with whatever. Thank you.
Okay. Alderman Mohammed?
It seems a little forceful to me. I don't have great objection to it. I would like to hear the license collector's opinion about this. Yeah, I don't know how certain businesses will feel in my ward if I support it, but I'm not against it totally. No questions, Madam Chairwoman.
Alderman Ryan?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Just a couple quick questions. I do respect the proactive nature that, you know, you've seen problems elsewhere and you're trying to get out in front of it. I think that it would be beneficial for the city if we all, you know, looked elsewhere and, you know, tried to come bring solutions to the city. Do you know other cities or states that have laws like this at this point?
They are coming, yes, in San Francisco, and I believe Amazon is backing down in, was it Philadelphia?
Philadelphia has a law, and Amazon had opened up, I believe they're called Amazon Go stores, which are storefront stores where they did not accept cash, and they have since changed.
And has anyone in your ward, have any of your constituents expressed any concern that there was a store that wasn't accepting cash?
No,
or-
I'm trying to get out in front of that problem.
Sure.
Yes.
No, I was just trying to think around my own ward and see, is there anywhere I could go that wouldn't take my cash?
I have not seen any yet, but I do believe it's coming, and I want to make sure that when you deal with the public, you have to you have to deal with the public. If you're not, you shouldn't be in business if you're not prepared to do that. We have, our money is legal tender, and it's good for debt and payment of, and it should be accepted everywhere.
Would you be opposed to any changes that would limit the maximum amount that a business had to take to alleviate maybe some concerns about if they have to hold on to cash? If you said, you know, they don't have to take cash for a transaction over $250, say.
I didn't even think of that. I don't think that's necessary. Don't some places already say, and I think they are allowed to say that they don't cash a $100 bill or something perhaps?
Yeah, they won't break
for
bills,
things like
certainly,
that,
yeah.
and that's already accepted. I think it would be up to the business to make sure he has what he feels comfortable with cash on hand. And if something would come up and he couldn't make change, you just say, I'm sorry, I can't make change.
Because my only concern.
Most people are going to have credit, I understand.
Absolutely.
You know, but for those that don't, I want to be able to walk into a place and use my money.
Absolutely. I guess my only concern with it, I share some of the two aldermen's concerns that it's a restraint on business that I'm not, we may be putting the cart ahead of the horse, but I don't have any real issues with it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, and I feel if you're in business with the public, there's a certain inherent risk anyway. You know, you're opening your door to the public, you might be robbed, something might happen. You know that when you go into business. You know, and what you want to, I've seen signs that says they don't have a lot of cash on hand, that would help warrant that, you know, that concern, I think, would help limit, you know,
Sure.
that concern. Or like people say, what is the pizza things, they say, we don't carry cash
Yeah.
for that reason. But anyway, that's, I
Thank you.
understand, yeah.
And nothing further from me. Thank you,
Did
Chairwoman.
you have a follow-up,
I
Alderman?
just wanted to ask, because I wasn't sure, I know like on the smoking ban, we were able to do that to tell private businesses how to act because of the health issue. I don't know, do we have the right to tell a private business what they can do or can't do?
Well, they're
And
not
within
private
the city.
business, they're dealing with the public.
Well, I mean, I just knew like, there were certain things that we were able to do, because we could impose them on ourselves as a city, to say, but, and can we impose this on private business?
Government bodies, obviously, as you know, do have the ability to regulate private businesses to a certain extent. Whether this is something that can or cannot be done is still open to question. So these are laws that have yet to be challenged. So
I was just curious.
that was something that when I was researching this for the Alderwoman, that was something that was noted.
Okay, I was just curious. I'm sorry, thank you.
You're welcome. Alderman Clark Hubbard?
I was just trying to do some research too while we were talking, and I'm gonna be for it because in my ward, I know you said most people have credit, but a lot of people in my
They
ward don't have credit. So speaking on behalf of how I would wanna represent my constituents, I'm gonna be for it, and I even just pulled up an article that says that the businesses that are saying they won't accept cash are being almost cited with civil rights lawsuits and things like that. So I just wanted to make a reference that I was trying to pull up something because I was trying to see why people, you know, would be against it. But again, in my ward, we need cash to be accepted, so I support it. Thank you.
I'm just curious how this issue came to your attention or how you found out about it.
Because of what was in the news about, I worry about credit. I think people use credit too much and get themselves in trouble. A lot of people have to stay on cash budgets, you know, and things like that, and I think that's wise for a lot of people. But, no, I just saw it going on, and I thought I would like to preempt this so it doesn't happen here, was my thinking, that's all.
Is the language in your bill the same or similar as
Yes,
to what's
that's
being
exactly what we looked at. was
as
some-
Philadelphia and San Francisco?
And, yeah, I think Philadelphia was first,
Okay,
and then San Francisco is following suit. And Amazon's already backed down, I believe,
okay,
because the mayor signed something already.
okay. And then who enforces the violation?
Well, that would be a good, on the enforcement, in section 2, we have a violation, said no less than 50 no greater than 500. So it would be a thing like first time or whatever, you would probably get warned or whatever.
Who doesn't?
I don't know. I would imagine the police, if someone complained, say I went in this place and they wouldn't take my legal tender, because it says that on all of our money, it's a legal tender. And for debt and whatnot, and they wouldn't take it, whatever you would want to do as the individual, I guess, you would call the police. I don't know.
Okay, it doesn't seem like it's clear.
No.
Madam,
Sure.
2 points. One is I think in other instances like this, rather than a fine, what they do is they withhold the business license is the way to
Oh,
do this. In other words, if somebody's, because I'm not, it would be a city ordinance violation, and
Right.
You think of the other city ordinance violations, either the police are doing it or else the building division, or we have some other enforcement arm. But I think a lot of times what they do is they, if a business isn't complying with
and
an ordinance,
Right.
don't we have other ordinances that we
have to refer.
Yes.
we deny a business license to operate in the city, which effectively puts them out of business as opposed to fining them. So that might be.
No,
not
you're
a-
right, you're
just
right.
a thought.
That could very well be.
The other thing was, this is kind of the question for an attorney, if you're acquiring something of, as opposed, I'm thinking about like for a car, or I'm in the investment business, and somebody came in and purchased stocks, which I guess you could say that was a retail transaction. I mean, our industry cannot accept cash for transactions, period, because of,
Well,
I
that would
presume it's probably a
supersede the city
violation of the
ordinance.
Patriot Act, but even if it's not a violation of the Patriot Act, it would be a violation of, kind of an internal checks and balances as far as how we conduct business. And I mean, if you're selling cars and stuff like that, usually you want a paper trail, don't you, for, you have the title, but
Are you asking me?
I'm not, I know about my industry, I don't know
Right.
about cars, but I just know that they're a lot more involved in
Right.
purchasing a car because it's a titled, real estate, for example, is something that's titled, and I would think that.
As
I
far
can
as
speak to that.
I'm sorry.
Being a used car salesman, I can speak to that. So, if I sell a car for $25, they give me $25 cash, I give them a receipt for $25, I deposit into the bank. Now, they can't give me more than $5,000 in cash, otherwise I go to the bank, I have to fill out this federal form,
Suspicious.
Which is a suspicious activity
Right.
part.
so there's a limit to how much cash you can
Right.
accept.
So that would supersede this anyway, those other.
Well, I mean, you could still accept the cash, but, it'll trigger, if you make the deposit,
Now, I
it'll
think
trigger.
the state law says we can't,
Oh, okay.
if I remember correctly. I think the used car cannot accept more than $5,000. And plus, that'd be pretty scary, somebody give you $20,000 in cash for a car. It's like,
Depends on who it is.
doesn't matter.
So your
Still,
friendly,
I wouldn't want to carry it around with me.
So your friendly neighborhood money launderer comes in and says, I'd like to buy $100,000 worth of stocks with cash, and,
The feds would probably bet
Yeah.
your door.
yeah.
Very good
That'd
to me.
trigger an SAR for sure.
Do you have any other questions, Alderman Murray?
No, I just mostly comments.
Okay, Alderman, would you be willing to consider looking at the enforcement piece so that we can loop in whichever city office would be in charge of enforcement?
Sure.
And maybe have something written, I've seen other board bills that specifically spell out,
Okay.
first time a warning, second time.
Or license, whatever we're gonna do.
And then I'm happy to, if you're okay with that, then we can maybe change the bill a bit and
Sure.
and come back and vote on it.
Sure,
Okay.
sounds like a plan.
Does anybody have any other questions?
I was just gonna say, when we do that, can they say where that fine goes to?
If we do it that way, rather than,
Where, cause right now it doesn't say who. gets
right,
the
right.
We would have to create a special fund, and I don't know if that's something that you're interested in
Okay.
doing. Otherwise, it goes to general revenue.
Yeah, which would probably be hard. Yeah. feel right with it?
I'm.
Okay,
I'm fine with
okay.
that.
Well, I mean, you
However,
were
I can
going
assist
to,
you. Oh, you had asked that I had.
yes, about the person-to-person thing. We thought we had something covered, but maybe we didn't.
Okay, she had asked that, the old woman asked that I address your question about the sale of securities. That, as I understand it, would not be a real person-to-person transaction where you are facilitating the sale rather than being the actual seller of the security. So,
But this is also retail stores. I
Correct.
think,
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
a financial institution wouldn't be considered a retail store per se.
right.
Right, selling goods or services. What else is services?
You gotta work on something.
Okay, well, let me know when you're ready to
Surely.
come back. Thank you very much. And then I overlooked approval of the minutes, so if you have a second to grab minutes from the May 16th and May 21st hearings.
I would make a motion we approve the minutes,
Second,
previous roll.
objection.
Oh, yeah. You weren't here. right?
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Rhodey,
Present.
Alderman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderman Muhammad,
Aye.
Alderman Ryan,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Chairwoman Gracia.
Aye.
6 aye votes and 1 present.
Okay, if everybody is set, we can adjourn? Yes. All right, thank you.
Sounds good. Almost. I gotta be here. We got streets in too anyway. Are you, streets in here?
Yeah, you can do
Because I'm
that.
not gonna be able to answer a bunch of questions without Lou standing there.
Usually we're in here, but sometimes we don't. Here? Oh, good. So we're right here. I guess I get to get out of the hot seat.
It's in the
Oh, we did a big one this time. Okay. There you go. Thank you, sir.
I do like this idea.
Yeah, yeah. We gotta find one. I said-